got some trees growing today.
It's like a fish tank.
It is, yeah.
I might dress up later and go for a swim.
No, don't bother.
So there's obviously a fish somewhere in the vicinity.
He's right on your bait. No way. No.
As a team, we've talked about doing something like this for a long time.
This is big stuff.
From an editor's point of view, lads, this is going to be like a huge task.
This isn't going to be easy because there's so many variables to take into account, but if we can pull it off, it's going to be groundbreaking. We're going to be seeing things that we've never seen underwater before.
Projects like Fishing Gurus have always been amazingly well received, as well as, of course, the TV side of things, but these have always been filmed above the water. We've never gone beneath.
Our sister company Corder have done it really well in the past. Amazing, actually. But that's carp fishing. Turning it into course fishing and match fishing, very different venues, very different lakes. Are we going to be able to do it?
Guys, just a reality check. I don't want you guys get your hopes up too much. We have to be aware that a lot of things can go wrong.
One of the main issues with trying to film match and course fishing underwater is clarity. The high stocks of fish mean that the water becomes coloured and you simply can't see. But as luck would have it, our sister company Embryo had recently handed us a venue that was incredibly clear with an amazing head of fish.
Every fish we've seen so far has been double figures.
It's a place called Broome, and after several visits and tests on the location, we decided to go for it.
Is it going to work? Do you think we can pull it off?
So it's one of those things you're gonna have to do it to be able to determine whether it's achievable or not.
Hey, how you doing, mate? How's it going?
Good. The fish are definitely in the area. So they were on the surface this morning.
Look at that, they're feeding on the surface right in front of the bivvy.
This underwater kit we've got, it's not off-the-shelf gear, it's special stuff.
It's taken quite a few years to develop this camera system, but I think we're very close now to getting it exactly right.
It doesn't matter how good these cameras are, Dan. If the boys can't get it on the dance floor, then we ain't going to be able to see it, are we?
Deploying the cameras in the right place is essential. Too deep a water and visibility would be an issue, but too shallow and we might not get enough fish traffic.
This is where the boys are finding the spot. There's 2 divers out there.
You're aiming for a dust lid, so it's gonna take you guys a few tries to get it right.
I know this venue's a lot of running line fishing for carp, so what methods are we thinking, boys?
Obviously, I'm going to want to fish with a hybrid feeder. It's the feeder I love. It's my number one choice.
Sounds mint this, Dan. I can't wait for it. Me and the boys will see you in a few days' time, yeah?
I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you soon.
Catch you later, bud.
You hiding in there, gents?
Yo, yo.
How we doing?
All right, you?
Cracking. Super duper excited. This is something you've wanted to do for quite a long time, isn't it, Rooney?
Years, yeah. After seeing the Corder videos and stuff, I just thought, imagine if you could do it for sort of like match course fishing, how good it would be and what we could learn, sort of thing.
What about you, Steve? Done anything like this before?
No, nothing like it. Always wanted to do it. I've got loads of theories. I've got loads of ideas about how my bait's acting, how a feeder works, what my hook bait's doing, but today might be an awkward one, as in, I might be wrong.
Come on the box, we're in the tent.
I think part of me's always wanted to see what's going on under the water, because I, like most anglers, you have a theory, you have an idea, you think this is what's happening, but you don't quite know. And then there's that mystery of not knowing. But then do you want to see what's going on under the water, because you don't quite know if you're doing it right.
Honestly, Steve Ringer, he's caught so many fish on an hybrid in his time. What he's doing is obviously right. He's not getting it terribly wrong. And I think that what he sort of predicts, and we think, hybrid will go to bottom, it'll have some pellets around it, it'll break down. I'm a realist. I know that's what's going to happen. It's all the things that go with it and how the fish respond to it that I am looking forward to seeing the most. The camera was set at a distance of 30 metres from the bank in around 12 feet of water. We chose an area at the bottom of an underwater shelf just off a lovely patch of reeds.
First cast, fishing, joining the reeds and the things.
This was one of the cleanest spots around the lake and one we caught a few fish from while testing. The cameras were able to move so we could search for any stray casts, but getting the rig into a 1 foot area was the ideal target so we could see both the rig and what was happening around it. This was going to be crucial for the success of this project. In terms of bait, we had loads to try, not only different colours and kinds of hook baits, but feed and free offerings to go around the feeder too. Are you nearly ready, Steve?
Just about.
We're biting at the bit in here.
I'm ready.
What is your first chuck going to be?
First chuck comes no surprise, large 28 gram hybrid feeder. There's nothing better, it's the best feeder in the world. Caught me a stack of carp and I'm confident it's going to catch me a few today.
Right, okay.
Well,
So
we will see, we will see. A lot more than normal.
literally a case of that loading up, fire her in and it'll be...
Steve, you going to bait up before you start, or are you going to just...
I'm not going to bait up, mainly because on a normal commercial, I wouldn't, and I know this isn't quite a normal venue, but there is a decent head of carp. I mean, and there's some good fish, so I'm going to feel my way in as such. I might vary how long I leave the feeder in, but I'm hoping you'll give me a little bit of a steer, as in, is there any fish in the swim? You know what I mean? And sort of how often I need to cast. So I'm relying on you two a little bit, which could be a disaster.
So, so you want us to do everything for you then, basically?
No, I'm going to cast out.
You've got one, Steve, it's got your bait.
I've got the difficult job of getting the feeder in front of the camera.
Yeah, yeah, brilliant. It sounds really good, very exciting, and we can wind him up a bit as well, can't we?
Yeah, good luck, mate.
Yeah, good luck,
Cheers.
mate.
Going to need it. I'm a massive fan of the hybrid feeder. It's pretty much the only feeder I've used for my carp fishing since it's been out. So I've got an idea how I think it breaks down, you know, what I can do with it is I can put the first layer on hard to make sure some bait gets to the bottom, and then that top layer should break down quicker. But I don't quite know if that's true. You know, we're going to be in sort of 10, 12 foot of water for the next few days. That's a little bit deeper than I'm used to. So am I going to have to vary things to get the presentation I require?
This looks good. Oh, press record. It's going to be on the dance floor, isn't it? Where are you? Where?
Any
I
good?
can see pellets.
Should we zoom down a bit?
We've seen pellets, Steve. I think you might be on the camera. See, I'm glad you're not driving the submarine. Unfortunately, mate, I think you're on the camera. There's being good at casting and there's being good. Oh yeah, did you see it? You just pulled it out.
Yeah.
It was literally right on the camera. Look at the bait going in. See that? Still pellets dropping through the water now. That's mad.
Some pellets definitely came off the feeder then, didn't
they? I kind of like that though.
Yeah.
Here he goes.
Round two.
Probably be in exactly the same spot. You know how he struggles to get it on the same spot twice. Oh yeah, it's nice. Oh yeah.
Oh, gotta be bang on. Gotta be bang on. Get ready.
Oh.
Yes!
Do not move that.
That is perfect.
Oh my.
Look at the few pellets come off it. See them?
Yeah.
I plugged it quite soft.
Right, so if we press that one now.
Did it hit the bottom intact?
Oh. Yeah, mate, it's all in working order.
You say you press that one soft?
Didn't put it on like rock.
It's all pretty much all. There were like 20 little pellets fluttered down just past your feeder.
Has it started breaking down at all yet?
We can, yeah,
just.
Tank testing is something we've all done. I do loads of tank testing with rigs, feeders, breakdown of pellets, but it's not the same as testing in a lake with conditions like big winds, so you've got tow, and then you've got fish in the swim. I've got this theory about a nice little pile of pellets, but when the water's towing and there's fish moving about, are those pellets going to go over a massive area? That's something we're going to find out.
Steve, so what we thought was a little plume of pellets coming off your feeder wasn't, it was the actual top layer.
The whole top layer?
Yeah, your hook bait's totally free. Your hook bait is 4 inches past your feeder. Completely separate to the pile.
It's fishing. It's still fishing, but it's nowhere near your bait.
I did plug it very soft.
Yeah. Interesting how it's literally kicked out straight, but that's probably because I guess you got a wafter on, yeah?
Yeah, is the wafter sitting up at all?
Yeah, it's fishing. It's fishing fine.
It's not sitting up how you would like it to, I don't think.
What's it doing?
Put your drag on, loose, and just come and have a quick look, and you'll get a better idea then, because it is. You'll be really annoyed with this.
I'm not coming.
Come on.
Oh, there's a fish!
Oh, just wait on your box.
Wait.
Wait. Oh my God, he's very. No way.
Oh my God.
He can't catch one first, Chuck. I will like give up fishing. Oh, I have.
Right, he is.
He's actually.
He is inches.
So this is typical Steve Ringer.
Oh, your wafter's set up now.
Your wafter's just got a.
Your wafter's just reset.
Oh my. This is.
What? We can't see. He stirred it up.
He stirred it up. He just spat a load of stuff out. He's feeding right on the camera. Your hook, your bait in your feeder's literally just sitting just proud of your feeder. It's not even coming out.
Yeah, but I did plug it, the first layer quite hard to try and hold it in.
We don't need your excuses.
He's holding in all right.
Oh, we're
good.
in trouble
Always
now.
got attraction.
I've got this one.
Yeah. Literally, we cannot see anything now. The fish is on.
I can see his hook bait.
Oh yeah, got
there.
your hook bait. Your hook bait was sitting flat on the floor, but as soon as the fish come in, it wafted into position. So your hook bait's sitting really proud now. This is pretty mad.
Can I come and look?
Yeah, if you want.
Can do if you want to lose your rod.
You might have to go and grab your rod quick. Right.
Put your drag on.
Come have a look now. What's interesting though, that fish, even though there's the bait stuck in the feeder, it didn't come to the feeder.
Oh, so it's straight on the feeder now. It got your
feeder. It's your hook bait. It's going for your hook bait.
No, it's not
Oh my God!
It's not took it.
Oh, I didn't like that flavour.
The wafter's sitting out. I wanted it to.
It's inches
oh
away.
My God, it's
The wafter's still wafting.
Look at him looking at you. He's a big
Has he cleaned the feeder out?
Yeah, literally. Look, there's nothing in your feeder now. That is mental. Look, you can't even look how camouflaged your feeder is.
He came
you can't
in,
even see it.
Sucked all your bait out of your feeder,
and done one,
and did it. If your hook bait was still in your feeder, you'd have got him.
So
yeah, but you would never normally know that.
Look at that, how easy he's cleaned out that feeder. That is a joke.
There's virtually no bait.
And you never had an indication while that were in your peg?
No.
So if you were fishing now, you'd
done.
have had a carp come in, eat everything other than your
coming
bait.
back. He's coming back. Look at all the messes.
But this is the problem, obviously, with not knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
It's a confidence thing.
Yeah, but this is good,
I'd be
isn't it?
sitting there now in my box thinking trap set.
Get another 20 minutes.
Yeah,
lad.
just give it another 10
My
minutes.
bait's wafting over me hook bait.
I'm quite happy with how that's sitting. And I know you said it wasn't, but now it looks perfect.
But the good thing was when the fish come in, it's sort of like it literally as soon as the movement of the water, the hook bait sat perfect. It was like it showed itself. It was there. It was well weird.
I think it was sort of trapped in a little pebble because it was flat before.
Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah, but obviously in an ideal world, I should have plugged the whole ball a bit harder.
I think, like when your feeder's gone in and come back round to the spot, it's just plinked out because it's like literally 4 inches away.
That first fish cleaning up all the bait and not picking up my hook bait, it wasn't a massive surprise for me because I've always suspected that you do get done. Sometimes you're probably sitting out there with an empty feeder. It's a bit disappointing because obviously you'd like to think a fish comes in, picks up the hook bait as well as the loose feed. It wasn't a massive surprise, but it did prove that it does happen.
Even though Ringer had all his bait sucked out of his feeder without hooking the fish, for me, it was just fantastic. Seeing that hybrid feeder in its natural environment on the bottom blended in perfectly. Doesn't get any better than that for me. Tick, well done ads. Good feeders.
Rubbish, Steve. Yeah, I'll give it another 2 minutes just to see if it does get picked up, not in the perfect position.
Yeah.
Because if you was actually fishing now, you would still leave it.
Yeah, because I can't see.
Yeah, but it would be interesting to see if you do leave it, if he does come back. Still a bit of bait there.
It a lot harder to see what happens.
Yeah, he's literally nicked all your bait out that feeder.
But already I'm thinking.
You can feel like there's a fish coming. See this movement?
I've done a couple of bait tub tests with obviously my pellets, and they're breaking down really quick. So there's obviously a difference in depth.
Do you know when the divers went in, they said it was when they went down to find the different layers, it was different temperatures, like there was thermo layers as they went down. They said it was really obvious. So because they were freezing when they got out.
Right, I'll let you two watch it for another minute.
We'll give you a minute and then
we'll try and get it back on there.
Yeah, try and keep that
back in the spot.
If that hook bait was on your feeder, you'd have caught one.
But it wasn't.
No, sorry about that. But that's what it's
Come on, Ringer. Thought you were good at this.
He'd be good.
Yeah, he's gutted, you can tell, look.
He'd be like this, he's feeder.
Look, you gutted?
No, because I haven't been done, as in...
Well, you have.
I'd be more gutted if it had ate my hook bait and spat it.
True.
Yeah. One thing that caught my eye immediately was how insignificant that pile of pellets actually looked on the bottom. Bearing in mind, that was the biggest hybrid feeder that we do, 28 gram. Not the biggest lake in the world either. I kind of wanted there to be more bait and more going on there.
I've always felt that like the amount of bait, even on a large hybrid, isn't massive, but it's enough to catch a fish. And there's still a lot of attraction there. Pellets are quite potent, what you're putting on them is quite potent, etc. So there's a lot of pulling power, and it's also about confidence, as in knowing that I'm fishing right. And that's the beauty of obviously being able to see underwater, knowing that I'm fishing right, the trap's set, it's just a case of waiting for a fish to come along.
There's no fish about, Steve, if you want to give it another cast.
Oh!
It's mad.
Oh, there's a massive common there now.
Oh, look at him eating all that bait. I'm joking.
I think to start off with, I learnt a really quick lesson. Fishing in 12 foot of water, I knocked the top off the feeder straight away. So when I say knock the top off, I mean the first layer of pellets got down, exactly like I expected, but I didn't really put a lot of effort into putting the second layer on, and in 12 foot it didn't make the bottom. So yes, I was still fishing because I got the first layer down, but my hook bait was out and the second layer sort of fell around it. So it wasn't quite as perfect as I intended.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
There it is.
yeah.
Look, that's all right, Steve. Yeah, we can cope with that. Yeah, and then if you go down a little bit. Where's this one? This one.
That's
it.
Oh, look at that breaking down.
Right, sort your camera out.
Put that on.
Does that one break down better?
Yeah.
Quickly, but everything stayed intact.
I plugged that a lot harder.
Yeah.
Right, mate, that looks to dog's danglies.
You really buy that little clay bit where it's really rocky, but the feeder's sat in lovely in the gap. It's just breaking down now, and your old wafter's on show.
Your wafter is smacking you in the middle of your feeder. How did you load it that time in comparison?
Just put it on both layers a lot harder to make sure it got down.
Do you know what as well? When you've done it like that, your wafter plays a much bigger part because it breaks down the rest of the feeder quicker.
Yeah.
When your hook bait's coming out and you're losing that top layer, your base layer doesn't do a lot.
No, but I always think, worst case scenario, you've always got the base layer.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is where a hybrid can be so good.
If your hook bait's near it.
But it's already made me think you need to make sure you load it right every single chuck. You can't be a little bit lazy.
That presentation's a joke.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Come and have a look at this, mate, quick. Come in between us here so everyone can see you. It's ridiculous.
See, that's how I imagined it looked in all the storybooks.
Well, there you go. Proof's in the pudding, as they say.
My only concern now, well, not concern, but I'd like to, when a fish does approach it, like what it does to it, whether the wafter moves before the fish can get it.
We'll see in a minute.
Well, hopefully. But like, not being funny, you can't ask for a better presentation than
look
that.
how close your other cast was. You can still see
Yeah.
like that little bit of bait.
But it's already made me just think about how much pressure you need to put on.
Yeah.
You squeeze that as hard as you could?
Pretty much, yeah.
But remember as well, we're fishing in probably a lot deeper water than we'd normally fish in. So it's got a lot,
12 foot.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
I do think how it lands as well is massive. Like when that hit the surface, it went in with a nice plop.
Yeah.
Whereas the chuck before was a little bit...
The metal side down,
Yeah.
you want it landing.
Which is, I think, when you can knock the top layer off, but that's the beauty of the hybrid. If you do knock the top layer off,
You're still fishing,
you've still got some bait there.
I'm not being funny, that last cast with the fish, you had no bait around your hook bait, but there was still bait in your feeder, and the fish came into it.
I had a chance, if you know what I mean, still had a chance. But like, now, if a fish decides to grace us with his presence, that I don't think you can present a bait better than that, in theory.
I agree.
Probably be a micro on the point of
I
view.
want to zoom up a little bit because I just want to see, like a bit of water.
In case one comes in.
As we see a shadow, just like that. Look at that. Obviously, that was pretty impressive.
I just want to
Let's see the bug.
If a fish does approach it, what it does to the ball as well. Because in theory, the first thing it should see there is that wafter. And even if it wasn't taking the wafter, it should get took.
I'm pretty sure, mate, that after that last one, they just sucked a lot up.
Yeah.
That carp ate every
Everything.
single pellet
Yeah,
out
that's
of
a
your
big,
feeder.
that's not a little hybrid, that's a big
Largest one we do.
Yeah.
One thing that always impresses me with Ringer is his time management during a match. Whether it's a World Championships or an Open at Boddington, he just seems to nail it every time. But now he can see what's going on the bottom. Be very interesting to see if this changes.
Oh, your wafters fell out.
Devastation. I think that's always inevitable, particularly with like a mono hook length.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things I like with the speed bead at the bottom, because the loop's in the speed bead, it allows the hook length to pivot more.
It's free, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like, I think when it's tied off, it will always try and ping out.
Exactly.
And what diameter hook length are you on there? Just
0.19 N-gauge.
And fishing nice and light then.
Yeah, no 19. N-gauge is quite supple though, I think.
Yeah, really supple, yeah.
More supple than some other monos.
Hey, isn't it interesting? You literally can't see any line.
No, you can't see.
Like not even your main line,
Can't
even
see the hook or anything.
that stem's stuck up a little bit because it's on that ledge, but you can just maybe see your line. But it's not offensive, is it, at all?
How long's that been in the water, do we know?
About 7 hours. No,
That's the thing,
not
though.
long, probably 5, no,
I
probably
wouldn't say
not,
5 minutes, maybe 2 or 3.
3 minutes
3
maybe,
minutes.
I was just trying to think.
5 minutes I've just been told. Longer than I thought.
There you
But
go.
obviously sometimes we're leaving it out 25, 30 minutes, like maybe longer at
Yeah.
places like Boddington in the winter.
Have you tightened up to your tip there?
No, I kept it quite slack. I like to fish quite slack on the basis that if a fish sucks that in, it should hook itself against the weight of the feeder.
Exactly
Yeah,
that, yeah.
I shouldn't have to like set the hook as such. And I don't need a really tight line running through the swim either.
Look, when you look at that presentation, then look at it on the other screen
Looks
where you're
better
looking a
on the
bit
right,
down,
doesn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Personally, I think with a mono hook length, it's virtually impossible to keep it on top the whole time.
Do you think you want it on top
I
of
know
the
it
whole
sounds
time?
Probably not.
Look, if you look at that, it's sort of not far off the middle still, is it?
No.
And there's bait all
And
around.
a fish should see it from that angle, I'd say more, because they're going to come in above.
So I like the way as well that the bowl, as I call it, of the hybrid feeder is still holding.
Yeah, it's keeping it quite concentrated.
I always think a hybrid feeder does give a tight presentation of bait.
Is that good or is that bad?
Depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Looking at this barren swim, quite bad. I do think it'd be easier to catch one if we can see more than one.
Yeah, you see the shadow. That one you just come in, didn't he? You saw the shadow and you start seeing the movement of the. It's amazing how much he stirred up, really, weren't it? On his own.
Interesting that he came, like your first cast he came in. How often does that happen when you're fishing? You chuck out, you get one first chuck, don't you?
Every time I go.
Venues like Barston, your best chuck, best chance of a carp, first cast.
Yeah.
And same
Yeah.
with Boddington in winter.
Yeah.
First cast or maybe last cast.
Yeah.
It's like there's always a carp virtually in every swim to be caught first cast if you get your line and distance right. I've obviously blown mine. How long I leave a feeder in for is based on how many fish I want to catch, and obviously the beauty of a hybrid feeder as I see it is it protects the bait. So being able to see on screen, for me, only really confirmed what I believe, as in my bait's fishing effectively, the pellets are breaking down, I've got bait there, the trap's set, I just need a fish to come along and fall for it.
Lips.
Lips.
getting
This could
close.
be the moment of truth while I go running.
Oh, you're fast, Steve.
Oh, no, he's aborted.
Oh, he's like he saw us.
Is
Wasn't
he looking at us through the camera?
Yeah, it's like gravel all around and that's a bit clay, so it might be like.
Here he comes.
Come on, brother.
No, he's on it there.
Come on, come
It's a
on,
nice
come on,
fish.
come
Oh
on.
yeah, that is a nice fish.
He needs to come this way.
He's eating your last lot of bait.
Yeah, should have left it in. Told you to.
Come on,
turn
mate.
round, turn round.
Come on.
He's stirring it up. It's like there's another fish here, look.
It
See?
needs to come from this left-hand side on the screen.
Your wafter's going to show itself in a minute.
Probably disappear off screen. He's colouring it up now.
Oh my word.
It's like he
See,
don't want us to
presentation
see.
on the right-hand screen.
Yeah,
I'd still be
looks-
more than happy.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Bait's still
fine.
intact in
It's
the
like-
feeder. He just needs to come and have a chew.
Even though he wafted all the mud and that, then your
Yeah, I'd still
pellets
be more
and
than
your
happy.
bait's fine, yeah.
It's just got really coloured.
Isn't it weird how he can make such a mess? Oh look, here he is.
comes,
He's
here
here.
he comes,
He's
here he
here.
comes. Come on.
Oh my god, he's literally on.
Oh, he's turned away.
You're seeing your.
Do you know what I thought? I bet that was your line. Look, your line was like there, and he literally just sit. Oh look, that can't be the same fish.
No, it's another one coming in.
That's what you want, a couple competing.
He's blown. See all the bait he's blown through his gills?
Yeah, yeah, but look.
Ain't it mad though?
he's
There's a
proper.
massive pile of bait and he's not going to out.
Oh my god, I've got to say a thing.
You can see it here, you can see it here.
Look how quickly it clears up.
Needs
This
to-
lake is brilliant. Oh, here he is.
Oh
he's
my
here.
God.
He's here.
Is he going to pick? Where is he?
He's just come in. He's coming. He's going to come right alongside. You'll probably see him on this one. Look,
Here
look,
he
look,
comes,
look.
here he comes, here he comes. Eat it.
No,
Eat it.
no way. No,
Eat it.
no.
He's cleaning the feeder.
Oh, he heard you then. Shut up.
He had a nibble, didn't he? Is there everything in the bowl
Oh
again?
my, that is incredible.
Just didn't take the hook bait off.
Rewatching the footage, have a look at Steve's face there. We all thought, and he certainly did, that fish was getting nailed, but knowing Steve, looking at his face, and you could see them cogs ticking, he was just planning his next move already.
He had like a little nibble of it, didn't he?
Oh, how bad does that look now?
Mate, he has done you.
Hold on, let me just make a
Didn't
note of
proper
that.
suck it in.
He's still there, he's still
I
there.
don't think your hook bait went in his mouth.
No,
it
it's
didn't,
down
no.
the side. 15.25 total.
Wipe out. Give it another few seconds because there's still. Which way is the see? The hook bait's not sat in a great position
sat
now
at the
either.
back of the feeder now.
It's like your hook bait's trapped behind it a bit.
Like it couldn't be.
Do you know what? If your
Oh, yeah.
feet, yeah,
I see it now.
You see what I mean? It's like he blew it round that back edge.
He's literally like
Oh
emptied the feeder.
my God, though, how quick do they empty that feeder? It's
One
like
mouthful.
One mouthful, and you're worried about what colour bait you got on.
So he's already making me think though that I could load it slightly different.
Yeah.
Do you think you need a more buoyant hook bait so it shoots in the mouth?
No, here we come.
Just what? Oh, look, it's,
Oh,
look,
oh,
look,
I've got a line bite.
No way.
No.
Yeah, you tip.
I've got a line bite. Wipe me out.
Oh my.
Gutter.
He's gonna go where your bait is.
Oh my God.
It was a liner,
What's
wasn't
that? 15.26, all going well.
it? Line bite wiped out. An interesting part of the filming was, particularly with that first line bite, it wasn't a massive indication on the tip, and yet the feeder literally disappeared off screen. And that's something that I'll take forward, as in, if I do get a liner and it's any sort of decent size or vicious movement on the tip, I'm going to reel in, because chances are my feeder's moved, it's not on the pile of bait, and my chances of getting a bite are reduced as a result.
We've got to record this, it going in. I'd really like to know what happens when he casts in with fish. He just bumped into the camera, that one.
You must remember him, he's got like a little scale
That's mud.
pattern just there.
We've got mug and clay.
Mug.
There is a bit of clay, you know. When they were putting the divers were putting the thing in, they wedged the camera in an area of clay.
This will be interesting.
Oh, this will be really interesting. Right, let's record this.
John,
we are
John.
recording. Watch.
Oh, get rid of it.
Oh. It didn't really spook off.
It didn't spook off at all.
Where's the feeder?
Leave it there!
Do not move that feeder. Oh, maybe a little tiny. No, leave
Don't
it.
move the feeder.
It's you like pulling against it, Steve. So you need to.
Need to reach up?
No, it's fine.
No.
It's on a bit of a slant, so it's going to be quite interesting again. You're right on that clay.
I love that clay.
Oh, change your hook bait, Mr. Ringer.
Change it. I want to see if they see the hook bait.
I'm joking. Yeah, I think they see that. I can see that well.
Yeah, but I don't feel like with the washed out yellow that they were homing on it.
Pink to make the carp wink.
As the wafters come out, it's literally pulled the feeder sort of so it's slanted on its side, and your hook bait's moved away again, but all the rest of the free bait's falling out the feeder now around your hook bait.
To be fair,
Actually looks pretty cool.
it's like watching a lava flow on National Geographic.
So would you still be happy with it?
Yeah.
Look, it's basically a pile of bait with your wafter right on the edge of it.
You know when I cast out, does the fish all spook?
No, not really. Just moved. It like sort of just moved. It didn't. Look at that. That's weird presentation. You look like, you know, like when a ship beaches itself and turns on its side. That's how your feeder looks.
All I'll say though is, like,
it's well hidden.
Yeah, if that were another kind of feeder, your hook bait could have dropped the other side, but it's all, because it's a hybrid and it's all enclosed, it's all fallen together.
I just had a tiny little liner then.
Nothing,
Really?
nothing happened on here.
It must be between me and the...
Steve's hook bait change to a pink wafter was literally incredible. Even through the screen you could see it much better. Everything was so much more visible and obvious.
On one of my casts, the feeder landed on a little bit of like awkward bottom, so the feeder was sort of sitting diagonally, and at first it didn't look great, as in it was sitting awkward, maybe the hook bait wasn't going to release, but actually as the pellets broke down, hook bait came out, I ended up with really good presentation, which is pleasing because sometimes you are going to be chucking on a bottom that's not even, and just to know that your hook bait's sitting right, the pellets broke out the feeder, everything's fishing correctly is a big confidence booster. Casting in front of that camera is best described as difficult.
Really?
You know, it's probably took me 3 chucks to get it in 3 spot on. No, seriously, it took me about 9 chucks to get it 3 times in front of the camera. But what I would say is, none of the 9 chucks I would have been disappointed with.
Yeah, so like
in a fishing match, I'd have been like 6 inches, 8 inches out. That's perfect.
Yeah, so if you couldn't sit underwater, you'd have left every one of them.
Yeah, and I'm a big believer in you don't want to be hitting exactly the same like centimetre of bottom every chuck.
You'd have a big pile
I
of
want
bait,
to create an area. Oh, another liner.
Liner moved your feeder.
That's mad. It stayed in.
Wow.
Just shows you how much a liner moves the feeder though.
Are you fishing real slack?
Yeah, really slack. There's not even a bend in the quiver tip.
Be interesting to see if your tip moves.
But obviously it makes me think my line's sat up. Been in about 8 minutes now.
And you've had a liner and your hook bait still sat right amongst the feed.
It's still fishing.
Yeah.
Effectively, in my opinion.
But it showed, obviously I wasn't at my rod, so I don't know how big the liner was. But I get the impression it wouldn't have to be a big liner to move the feeder. And that's fishing with a really slack line. So if I had a fishing with a tight line.
It's not the heaviest of feeders, though, is it?
28, no. And the bottom's very smooth. But that's something I'd never really thought about, is how easily your feeder moves.
But it's really interesting that no matter what's happened in the swim, you're still fishing.
I'm still fishing. I'd be quite happy. I'd rather the obviously hook bait was sitting on top of the feeder, but that's pretty much impossible even without that line bite, I think.
You know, when you're sitting there like an hour in at Boddington and your feeder's still out there, you just imagine your hook bait just sitting on top of your feeder.
Surely this is going to fry your brain, because I know what you're like. You're a twitcher.
But I'm already thinking, watching this, it's going to make it hard. You know when you get a little liner at Boddington?
You're going to have to wind it in now.
Yeah, well I do tend to wind in if I get an indication on the basis I don't know what's happened. What I'm interested in is if a fish does come in now, whether it visibly
you want them to beeline your hook bait.
Nothing's beeline for the hook bait.
No, it hasn't, no. But I think that's a better colour.
It should be. It looks better on the screen straight away. It stands out.
But we're fishing a venue as well that probably doesn't get fished that much, so maybe like a bright colour might be not a great indicator. Do you know what I mean? It might put them off.
It's colouring up again now.
So many questions, isn't there, to answer?
Mate.
So there's obviously a fish somewhere in the vicinity because it's proper.
Yeah.
Going dark.
Yeah. Here he is. Oh, fish.
At the back. Mouth. Come on, son.
Oh my God.
I think it's quite a big fish.
Fish, man.
Why is he backing away?
That big.
Oh, he's moved all the bait around the feeder. Look.
In your pellets.
He's going to come in from the left. Watch.
Whoa! Look at him lofting.
From the right.
Oh, he's massive.
He's a big.
Come on.
Oh God! You're right behind. Yes! Come on, Steve! Look at that!
Oh boy!
Whoa! He wiped the post out.
We've got problems in the rushes.
Mate, he looked massive. He looked big on screen.
Look at the spot. Fishing again.
I think he's
Still some
out.
pellets left.
He's out.
Right, well done, mate. Awesome. Go on, lad. That was so cool. He went straight for the hook bait compared to
Straight for the hook bait, yeah. He went for the hook bait before everything else.
Yeah.
Quite a lot. You know when he picked it up, there's quite a lot of slack before he bolted.
Yeah. That was incredible. There was no mess in there. He knew what he wanted, didn't he?
Yeah. I'm just glad he didn't spit it straight out.
Be interested to see where he's hooked.
Yeah, well. Compared to all them others that came in mooching about, he just went.
Do you know what though? We saw him take the bait there. I looked down and Steve's rod hadn't moved.
No, it didn't move, but the fish didn't really move very quick straight away.
So like he had quite a lot of time. Do you know what I mean?
You know what I love about this cast that's given me loads of confidence though? That feeder initially landed on a stone, then it fell off, then we had a liner and it moved and it fished
mate,
for 20 minutes effectively, and now he's got one on. Which is a great confidence booster, isn't it?
Yeah. Even the way I cast.
Let me get your two's picture.
I don't really want to go in here.
I'm going to wade out further then.
Ah.
Tell you what,
You've got trainers on?
Yeah, but they're Gore-Tex.
Good fish?
No, it's not nowhere near as big as it looked on the screen.
Looks about 80. Looked about 80 pounds on there.
If it had mugged me off, you'd have said it was a 20.
I'm coming in. Oh, I'll tell you what, it ain't warm, is it, the water?
To be fair, I don't know how it came out of the mushes, do you?
You did well, mate.
It's quite a small fish, actually.
It's all right, save the big ones for us.
Massive on screen.
It did, yeah. Must have been the angle.
Beautiful looking fish.
Fought well,
I just can't believe this has happened.
Its mouth looked massive when it took the wafter.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Looks well up. Looks well up.
It's
not that small.
No, but it looked like, you know, if I'd have lost it in the rushes,
and
we'd have played it back, I'd have said it was £15.
Not 5.
I'm hoping that's in the bottom lip.
Oh,
woeful netting.
Sorry.
There we go.
Yes! Well done, brothers. That is awesome. First one underwater ever.
Ever, yeah.
Ever. And you caught it?
I caught it.
Well done,
That's it,
mate.
I'm out.
8 years of wanting to do it, and now we've done it.
Watch that wafter stuck in there.
Look at that.
How's she hooked,
well?
Steve?
Corn, right in the bottom corner.
In the scissors?
Yeah, pretty much. Lovely,
Wow.
lovely little fish.
Yeah, cracker. aren't they?
Absolutely immaculate. Yeah, I was really pleased with how the hybrid fish once it hit the bottom. Firstly, it landed, so obviously bait up, landed flat down, which I always thought it did, but it's nice to have it confirmed. Secondly, even when it landed on like the bottom where it's not quite even, it still sat that front up, so you're still releasing your pellets, you're still fishing effectively. I never felt, even when it landed at an angle, I didn't have a chance of a bite, I wasn't fishing effectively. But equally, the pellet still broke down nice, hook bait in the optimum position, and camo-wise, the feeder was hard to see on the screen, so I can't see how it's ever going to spook any fish. So from that angle, really, really pleased.
Tell you what, boys, I don't think that carp knows how famous it actually is.
That's one special carp.
It's just, to be honest, it was amazing to watch it suck the hook bait in and it stay in. That was my biggest fear, that like everything I've ever thought about how my hooks working, how good QM1s are, was going to let me down. But perfect hook hold.
Definitely.
Mega. Such an important fish on this this trip.
First ever underwater fish for Guru.
Yeah.
I just can't believe watching it suck the hook bait in and then actually get hooked. That was the most important part to me.
There were a bit of like slow-mo action for me. I looked at Ringer and you looked at the rod and we all looked at the rod and round it went.
And this is the result.
Very special fish. Let's get this one back and see what we can change to either make it quicker or for them to get bigger. What are you saying?
Loved it. Well done, boy.
Well done, Steve. Personal best, isn't it?
PB.
Underwater.
I don't want that on my head.
We'll let you off.
The hook bait change was really interesting because washed out yellow is a massive favourite of mine, but when we looked at it on camera, even for me, it didn't stand out very well. So it's what I'd call a blend-in type of bait. So it blended into the pellets, but what was happening was the fish were coming in, eating the pellets, and for some reason not seeing the hook bait or not picking it up. So the change to pink was huge. Not only did it look a lot brighter on the screen, when the fish came in, they literally beelined for the hook bait, which I found really interesting because I always imagined a lot of the time the hook bait was picked up as the fish ate the pellets. But these fish were showing a massive preference for the colour and actually going for the wafter before the loose feed.
Wow, that's perfect. Mate, you're in the middle of the clay. That landed with your hook bait already exposed.
Yeah, I didn't plug it as hard.
Why?
But just because I wanted to see. Basically, you've got to put it on pretty much as hard as you want, if that's what's happened, as hard as you can.
Breaking down now, like in a nice.
What you got in with your pellets, Steve? There's like little flecks. Have you put some boilie crumb in?
Yeah, just a little bit of yellow crush.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Just for colour more than anything.
You can see it on here. It definitely stands out.
What made you pick a washed out yellow first and then change to a pink?
Over the years, if someone said to me,
Didn't want your life story.
in the last sort of 5 years, you could only have one hook bait for like hybrid or method or whatever feeder fishing, 6mm washed out yellows caught me more carp than any other.
Right.
So it's more like, if in doubt, go to the washed out yellow.
Oh, breaking down nice now, Stephen.
I just had a tiny little liner.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did the feeder move at all?
No, nothing moved, but it took took a bit of bait off your feeder. Literally never moved.
Literally, I had like a centimetre like little liner.
They definitely swell up a bit, don't they, in your ball, your hybrid ball.
Oh, did you just have another line? Oh, it's
No,
you.
did I move the feeder?
No, you just lifted the stem a bit.
I was just taking the line clip off just in case it went.
Good idea.
It's not being funny, the tiniest little movement this end
Yeah.
is moving that
Amazing,
feeder.
isn't it? You know, like when people tighten down to the feeder, you're probably moving it about
must be
6.
moving it.
Yeah.
Anyone who does the underwater strike to sink the line, I dread to think where their feeder goes.
And how much bait's left on it?
Yeah, it must move. I barely. If you'd have said to me, "Have I moved the feeder then?" or I'd have said, "Not a chance."
You know, with like your line.
Hey up.
Oh,
Oh, a little baby carp.
that's a roach in it.
Nice little carp, little tiny carp.
A roach. Come on, Roon. Learn your fish.
Just had a little tiny one come in, Steve, about that big.
Did he look at the hook bait?
He went towards it,
He
yeah.
said, I wish there was a washed out yellow one in there.
One in.
Oh, he's right on you.
Got your bait!
Got you!
Got him! Yes! Go on! That went, right? You know that one? Your hook bait. Well done.
Well done, Steve.
Right, your hook bait was separate from your feeder. It ignored the feeder and went for the hook bait.
Told you, it's all about the pink, Steve.
Ridiculous.
1642. Nailed one.
For me, that just shows how important hookbait colour is and what you use on the hook.
I was a bit worried that the bait was sort of like hidden between them rocks a little bit.
No.
Even though it wasn't buoyant, was it?
No, and it was separate from the pile of pellets. They were like 2 or 3 inches away.
That was incredible. You got control of this one?
It's been in the rush. It's in the rushes, but a different
They're
set.
so fast. Oh,
Mate, they're wild carp.
looks like a nice fish on camera.
If you get him out, I'll buy you a pint tonight.
Oh no.
He's out. He's out.
No.
Damn. Wish I hadn't said that.
I'll lend you the money if you want.
All right.
Look, can you believe there's another fish feeding on the
No.
screen and he's just caught one?
Lovely, lovely bite.
What's
I was
that?
having a drink.
1643. So less than a minute, there's a fish.
Back in.
Yeah.
Fair play though, mate. You've had 2 suck your hookbait up and you've hooked them both.
I just love seeing him struggle.
This one's just going round that.
Wouldn't make a very good carp.
Look at that one feeding.
Look at him.
It was just popping round the corner.
Never seen you move so quick.
Well, you said you'd buy me a pint.
Look at him watching. We've got a spectator on the screen. Oh, that's a good fish.
Slightly bigger that one, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very nice. That was incredible.
Obviously, I didn't see any of it other than the tip.
He's really good, mate.
There's definitely like a delay though between you saying.
I know. It's like you've nearly got time to look round to see you strike into it.
He's bigger, isn't
A
he?
little bit bigger
Nice
that
fish,
one, isn't
isn't it? Come on, I'll let you play it a bit longer.
Did Matthew tell you? Don't stab at it.
Hey!
Number 2.
Well done,
A little
lads.
bit bigger that one.
That one didn't even look at the 3 helpings. It went straight for the hook bait. Incredible.
For me, hook holds are massive when I'm feeder fishing, particularly when I'm only fishing for maybe 5-6 bites. Every fish needs to come in, it needs to count. And what I'm looking for is middle of the bottom lip, either corner of the bottom lip, but I don't want to be hooking them sort of in the top lip because that shows that my rig's not working correctly because the hook's not turning. So first 2 hook holds, absolutely perfect. If I was placing them, couldn't have placed them any better. So it's just nice to get confirmation that your rig's working as you think it is.
Oh, mate, that is on.
Might be too close.
Oh, Steve, stop.
That's it, that's perfect.
Is that closer?
Yeah, spot on, mate. Literally middle of the screen. To be honest, I'd have had to open both eyes to do that.
Where is it on that one, Matt? I'm holding it really hard, so.
There.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah, she is. Get her in the middle, mate, so you can pick her up easy. That's it.
Not right down yet, is it?
It just lands so nice, though.
That's on that other gravel as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly where we wanted it to be. You're, when your feeder nearly got to the bottom, it just went like that, just like shifted a bit. It's like you'd shifted
quite
your
hard
rod.
because normally you follow I follow the feeder with the rod.
Yeah, yeah.
But here you have to hold it tight.
Yeah.
And let it swing.
You're not winding that one in any time soon, are you?
It's staying there unless the liner drags it out of the swim.
Yeah.
I might go down there actually and just keep an eye on the tip. See if there's any liners.
Yeah, yeah. It'd be interesting for you to tell us if it moves. We've got a camera on it.
What if you fished a bottom bait in that feeder if it would sit there?
Or if you buried it a bit deeper.
Yeah, oh look, it's fell off now.
Yeah, it's actually fallen out your feeder, Steve. It's still right on it, on the edge of the pellets.
Yeah.
The one there then.
Was there a fish?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one in the back.
Oh, got a liner.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be because it's exactly where your line's coming off the feeder.
Yeah,
Tiny little liner.
That's interesting. To be honest, it's almost like it came in, felt your line and mooched off.
Can just see a pair of lips. It's actually coloured it up a bit. He's getting closer.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's a big pair of lips. Look how he's, look at it. You think he's what? Oh, a hoover.
Go on, suck it up.
Go on, suck his hook bait, hook bait. Look at his hook bait moving.
No.
Oh!
He felt your feeder then. He'll be back, he'll be back.
He felt the metal.
Did he?
Like he went, oh, that's a bit cold.
They've got a powerful suck on him. He moved that feeder then a little bit, didn't he? Did you see anything on the rod?
Nothing.
He took some pellets, he sucked some pellets.
Is it still set nicely though?
Yeah.
His mouth was as long as your feeder.
Here we go.
He's heading right for you, Steve. Oh.
Oh.
Oh, he's right.
He's
close.
on your line.
Liner.
Oh, yeah. He's felt it again and done one.
I got a liner.
Yeah, I'm not
And another liner.
He's here, look.
Where's his hookbait now?
Down here, look.
Is that it?
It's covered in pellets now. Yeah, you can see it.
Massive
Big
liner.
liner. Leave it.
It's moved your feeder, that.
Yeah, it's fed a load of slack out. Has it moved it much?
3 inch.
Is it still in a good place?
Nah.
Your bait, your hook's sitting up.
Yeah. Come and have a look at this for presentation. This will fry your brain a bit.
The fish is still mowing about.
Twice that fish has been and sucked bait from pretty much on your feeder.
Not seen the hook bait? Or not wanted it?
It's not quite got it.
You've got to chuck back with pink next.
Yeah.
Look, you see your hook sitting up?
Yeah, where's the feeder now?
Yeah, on its side. Well, not on its side, but it's leaning against something. But the fish basically come in, the first time it touched the feeder and bolted off. Second time, your feeder moved and then it come in and hit your feeder.
Yeah.
And it's moved your line.
It sort of came in on your line side.
Like, bearing in mind, your feeder was there. So it's gone quite a long way.
It'd be interesting.
But the other thing is, you know those liners? They're like quarter of an inch. They're not like...
What, like this?
Yeah, tiny. You know what I mean? If you'd say maybe a skimmer's around the feeder or something. But they're moving the feeder.
Yeah. He's about still. I keep seeing the shadows.
Just to prove that pink was a key colour in terms of wafter hook bait, I changed back to the washed out yellow just to see, and it was so clear. The pink shows up better on the screen, and the carp were definitely seeing it 1,000,000 times better. I'm not saying that'd be the same on every water, but on this water, those carp loved a pink wafter.
I don't think that was a coincidence, because the fish came in, picked up some pellets, but they didn't do anything to sort of beeline or target the hook bait. Perhaps they couldn't see it.
There he is.
Here we go.
Oh, he
Here
looks
we
big.
go. Ooh, Steve.
Look how quickly, like,
it's like when they waft it.
Yeah, they clear it up. Oh, there's 2. 3.
Look at them circling round.
There's a few in your swim and they look like...
It's cleared right up, Steve.
They're big fish as well. Probably starting mid... Oh, look at the old pellet wafting. Where's that? I can't even see the feeder now.
Oh, Steve, get ready.
Is that recording?
Yeah.
Oh, he's on the feeder. He's on the feeder.
It's got a
big fish,
liner.
You getting any indications?
Yeah, little tiny, got a liner now. Either that or one's got it.
Oh, look, your hook bait's literally gone right up there, look.
One's caught in the line.
Mate, he's dragged your feeder out of shot.
Yeah, he's either on or he's caught in the line.
He's not on, trust me.
He's not in the mouth if he is. Everything's been dragged out of screen.
So if you were fishing now, Steve, what would you say had happened?
There.
Yeah.
A liner, but it wasn't a big liner.
Not a trailer.
Not a trailer, no.
There it is. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. There's a big gobstopper coming.
Oh, he's looking. They turn sideways and look.
They literally see that bait, mate.
Yeah, they can see.
So from this, there's only one hook bait you put on at the moment, isn't it?
There is, but it's one venue in one set of conditions, isn't it?
Of course, yeah. And tomorrow could be a different day, different light, different conditions, could be different. But
exactly.
You know, that's definitely a standout bait that's working today. It'd be really interesting moving forward what happens as time goes on. I've also heard as well, whether this is true or not, but from a good source, that pink's a very good colour when the fish are thinking of starting to spawn.
Why do you reckon that is then?
I don't know, maybe it's a bit fish egg colour or...
Well, a fish egg's like a pinky...
I don't know. They're like usually quite
salmon
clear,
egg. I think the salmon eggs are red.
Maybe they'd be good in the river then.
Makes you wonder.
But I have heard that, and if you look at recent results, like at Barston and places like that, all caught on the pink, mate.
Yeah, this time of year.
And the fish are spawning there, it's a lot shallower.
Pink and red, it's like that bloody meaty colour, innit?
It'd be interesting to try another colour, you know, like another bright colour, maybe white or maybe orange or...
fluoro yellow.
Yeah, or like even like a bold bottom bait, like a red pellet or green pellet. Look what... It's the thing with a wafter, it always bounces back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just doesn't go anywhere.
Get
keep
ready,
spooking
Stephen.
and pressing that record button, look.
Get ready, Stephen. Stephen. Oh. Stephen.
He's not sure though, look.
Look out.
He don't like that, mate.
Do you think he's looking at the what?
Oh, he's getting a bit more confident. Oh, I like them, he says.
Oh,
no.
No.
He's going to come back. Ah, see what he did there?
Look at that. You think he did that on purpose?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, he was like that. It was really interesting when the fish come in the swim how much the clarity changed. But one other thing that changed was their behaviour. They become a little bit, probably a bit more erratic, probably not as careful as they were when it was crystal clear. But the only bad thing about that is we couldn't see a lot.
Listening to them two giggling in the tent was pretty frustrating. They sounded like a couple of school kids, but equally I couldn't see what was going on. So then I'm sat there thinking, has a fish just picked up my hook bait and spat it out? Is my rig not working? What's happened? So listening to them giggling was pretty frustrating for me.
Do you know what is
He's
obvious
so
here?
desperate to eat this.
Look, since it's coloured up, they are so much more confident.
That's one fish, mate.
But it's coming back more and more and more now that he's churned it up.
I would like to get to the end of this session, doing this filming, ticking a few boxes. Oh, straight in. Go on, lad.
Go on, lad.
That one has got to be on. Swim off
Gotta be
then.
on, gotta be
Shake
on.
your head, son.
Good on, Bobby! You were on for ages. Honestly. You know when we went up?
Oi, Steve, it was that big, it was on both screens.
It was a really strange, took ages to develop.
Yeah, he didn't
It was
run
just like
off
that.
with it.
It was just like that.
It was sat eating. I'll tell you what, Steve, what's interesting there, he coloured it up, and the more coloured it got, the easier he came in. Like, he was dead confident.
He's been in about 10 times.
Oh, he's gone.
No. Where's he gone on holiday?
He's gone.
Where?
That's weird though, you didn't see that,
What's happened there, mate?
He's ragged me through something.
Went towards that snag. Never mind.
Interesting.
He's ragged me through and broke me.
I was annoyed when I got broke because obviously I had to switch back to the pink wafter. Fish picked it up, but the lake we were fishing in had a lot of reeds, a lot of weed. It wasn't what I'd call synonymous with a normal commercial, as in the snags and structure in it. So it shows me that after catching a couple, should have changed my hook length. But equally, I'd rather get broke, not as daft as it sounds, than have had a hook pull, because my rig was still working, I still hooked the fish correctly, I just needed to change that hook length after it had obviously come into contact with the rushes.
We can't see a lot, Steve, so...
I'm going in anyway.
All right, mate.
If I can.
Closer the better, mate. Oh, come on. Back there.
Here she goes. Oh, I just see it drop past the screen
there.
here. We got it, Steve, that's fine, mate.
Great ball.
Oh, look at that, that's like on the join of the colours. Oh,
I've switched colour as well.
Huh?
I've gone orange.
Oh, we've gone orange?
Yeah, orange in a different shape, slim.
What's...
So it's a bigger bait.
Oh, so like a flat bait?
Yeah.
Right, okay, this will be interesting. Let me zoom out a bit for you.
That should be quite a tight. It's quite, plug that quite hard again.
Yeah.
Not quite as hard as the last one though, because I heard you guys saying it didn't.
There's one coming in already.
Yeah, there's one on it.
There's one here already, look.
Oh my.
But look at how coloured it is, and they're coming in quicker.
Yeah.
Just watch
So
that.
obvious.
There she is. Oh, yellow orange stands out well as well.
It does,
doesn't
yeah.
It's very similar colour, well, on.
I'd have said that were pink.
It's orange. But it's a big, slightly bigger bait as well.
You know what's interesting? That last one, it had your bait in its mouth.
Yeah, but it was just tip was just going like that.
It makes you wonder if it's loosened the hook hold or it broke you.
It's gone through something.
Here he comes. He's coming again. But do you know what, Steve? We were just saying. See, when you're on this stuff,
yeah,
they feel a lot more confident when they're on this stuff.
So it's better where it is now, in theory.
No, it's better on that.
On the light coloured stuff.
That one, they were really wary, but it went ever so clear though, didn't it? And as soon as he coloured it up, it was like it masked it, and he took it.
I think that's closer to the camera as well. I think.
Also, though, last time your feeder was sat different, and I just wonder if your line was up. So every time one come in, it felt the line.
Didn't get any liners last time though. But that bite was totally different to the other bites. So you saw a little one as well. There's
quite a
one
few little ones
knocking about.
Little carp, do you think?
Here he is, look.
He's above. Needed some goo to drag him.
That might be worth a try.
I think I noticed this at the time more than Steve and Roon, and that's the fact that the fish were looking at the bait. Too many times they'd come in and hover over the feeder and sort of tilt over and have a little look as if they were trying to see what's going on down there. I'm convinced, and it might be because that lake was clear, but I'm convinced they do look at your rig and your bait and what's going on. They can see it.
Definitely stays a lot tighter, the presentation, when you go mould it hard.
Yeah.
You happy with that presentation? Or would you like
Yeah, that's
the
biggest thing I've learned so far is that I need to think more about what I'm trying to achieve. as in with both layer. I often put the first layer on hard,
Yeah.
but putting the second layer on hard, because when I didn't, it got knocked off every time.
What it has showed us though as well, the first fish it was nowhere near, and it took its second fish nowhere near. Do you know, that third one was on the ball when he took it, but it took him ages though, didn't it? So you've got like, was it because it was on a darker bottom? Was it was on a darker
So you think
bottom?
he just
look
he
at
just
see what he did.
Look at
there.
the wafter moving. Look at the wafter moving. Eat it.
Go on.
Come down.
Go on.
He's backing away, isn't he?
They know.
It's almost like that wafter moving.
They wait and check, don't they? See,
Maybe
he did that with his fins, didn't he? He's like,
Yeah.
That looked a good fish as well.
yeah,
Makes you wonder if you had a pop-up on. What?
No, I feel like maybe a still bait would be better.
like a bottom bait.
Yeah,
I think so too.
It's
yeah.
moving.
Mind you, they come and check.
They definitely look and see the wafter in clear water. They definitely examine it.
Oh, straight in. Go on, lad.
Come on.
Go on, big suck.
He's eating off the feeder.
One more.
No, he's ignoring it. He's ignored it.
Wow!
And he's really messed it up as well. It's totally ignored it, didn't he?
He blew your bait off the feeder.
Do you know what I was saying about I like my hook to be light and move with the bait? It's like that your hook was nailing that down, wasn't it? It couldn't suck it
but
up.
it was never in the right position. Even if it was never under its mouth, that was the problem. Like it was ignoring it, basically. That's where I feel like a hard pellet would have been better.
Yeah, mate, so he sucks a lot in.
So
you know, like when they go over the feeder, they clean it out, don't they? If your hook bait's right in the middle of it, I think that could be really interesting. The only thing is with a wafter, you know you're fishing all the time. I think if you're fishing
that's a little carp.
Yeah. I think if you're fishing with a hard bait, you'll be 50-50 in.
I wonder if the hard bait will sit on top of the feeder for
That's
longer,
what I'm thinking, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And stay in that better position.
Yeah.
Whoa! See him blow your hook bait out your feeder?
He didn't even come near it to do that.
That was his fin.
Oh,
come on.
He's eating.
I almost feel like there might be a better chance of it.
See how they like eating on there, mate? I'm telling you, I'm sure that's something.
It's coming to eat out the bowl now.
No.
Yeah, thanks a lot, he said.
Yeah.
Next time, try putting a hook bait in it. But I'll tell you what gets me is, like, you think he'd just stay?
Yeah, eating.
He felt that though, didn't he? Like,
but you think
he'd be back?
There's stones all over the bottom.
They do that all the time though, don't they? Have a little bit, circle, and then come back. He's here, he's under us, isn't he? Oh, look. This is where they mess up though. Because there's bait around your hook bait still, look.
Feeder.
Liner.
By feeder.
Oh, what's your rod?
Just
by feeder. Hey, look. Massive liner.
Oh, dear, that might be.
That is unreal.
I'm going to put a hard pellet on.
Just to change up the colour scheme, I did try an orange wafter, but fish came in but didn't pick up the hook bait, and to me it screamed out at that point a hard pellet. I catch loads of carp on hard pellets on commercials. Surely that was going to be the perfect hook bait to sort of blend in a little bit heavier, and maybe trick a fish that had just wised up to what was going on.
Oh, that's in the zone.
In the money pot.
Got a feeling I've knocked the bait off though, but
You didn't? Oh, yeah, look at that.
In the zone.
Don't move it, don't move it.
I'm not.
There's a lovely little roach coming straight for it.
Tell you what, red stands out nice, Stephen Ringer. Is that
Yeah, look, the little roach.
Put it on a bit softer.
Look at these, look. Are they carp? I can't really
I think they're carp.
Very silvery.
That should stay there, that should in theory.
Yeah, they've been chewed off, they have.
Happy with that shot?
I think it would sink around it, do you know what I mean? Like it would nearly fall in.
But in theory it should stay in the bowl.
And you still, what size hook you got on?
Still got a 10.
Still fishing a 10.
Yeah. I'll be interested because they might find the heavier hook bait harder to deal with.
What as if it goes in and
Yeah,
sinks
it might sink, I don't know. I just feel, you know how they feed in hard pellets on pole?
Bottom
they tend to
lipping.
be like, gone.
Yeah, your bites are like dunk.
Yeah. So I don't like where that's fell now, but because of wafter you can see it.
Where's it fell?
It's
fell to the side.
Right hand side of the feeder.
That's
isn't it?
See, a wafter would still kick up,
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
still be able to see it.
Attention. That'd be
But is that-
You can still see it there.
Yeah, you can, but I
It's only
thought-
one suck, isn't it? One suck is all it takes.
To catch another carp.
Straight in.
Oh, it's come this side of it.
Yum, yum. Oh, it's the
Mirror!
mirror.
Is that the same one?
The mirror is back, yeah.
Has he dragged my feeder, do you think?
No.
Don't reckon, no, it's still there.
No. He was in fast, weren't he?
I like a mirror.
Finish on a mirror, cops.
Go on, Babby.
Oh,
Can't saw that bait coming out of his
See
mouth.
it.
Oh,
He's on your
straight down.
feeder, he's on your
Got it.
feeder.
We can't see anything. I don't know where to look.
No, he hasn't picked it up. He didn't panic either.
Oh,
did
there
he?
it is. There you
Yeah.
can see everything. He's a bit
Still
in front
there?
of it, to be fair. He'll be
Yeah.
back. He's going round 3. He's going to come back and
Look at our vision.
Oh.
Come on, mate.
Oh,
Same
that's
fish, innit?
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
Go on.
Oh, he's shake your head, mister. No, he's still there, look, he's still feeding. He's like,
I'm watching your tip.
No, he's gone past it. Oh, hello.
hello.
Oh yeah, all right, mate.
Feeder's not really moved, does it?
No. It shows you though, I think he would have been hooked on a waft.
Think you'd have had more chance of seeing it?
Look at him.
He's having
Mate,
a
they
right
love
one,
this
sure.
gravel, like at the front where it's all gravelly.
That's, yeah, but I've chucked a couple of times on the
Yeah.
Camera.
hit the post almost.
That's what he's eating, isn't it?
Oh.
Come on, mate.
Go on, straight on.
That's on your hook bait. That's
Oh.
No.
Your bait's... He's going to shake his head. Go on, shake it. Yeah.
No.
No
Don't know what he
way,
did.
man.
wow. I'm watching
Did
your
you-
rod.
There was 2 there, wasn't there then? See, I don't know what's gone on now to the feeder because you can't see it because it's not a wafter.
It looks empty to me.
I've not got a clue where your hook bait is now.
No, I haven't.
He was like feeding, he's coming back.
But you feel like, you know, if I feel like if I'd have had a wafter on, I'd have had him there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Your feed is empty.
You reckon?
Yeah, it's empty.
I'm not sure it's empty.
I can see the mid. No, but I can see the middle stem part. You see it there?
Yeah.
That's
Can't-
fine though, there's a bait there.
There's a bit of smell still there.
There's one at the back now, and I see him just.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
in.
He's coming in. I think the mirror's going to steam in now before he gets here. Here he goes, he's going to come from
He's
the
never
right.
panicked though, has he, on the feeder?
No. He's enjoyed his grub, hasn't he? To be fair to him.
He's had a freebie.
Is that your bait right in the middle of there?
This is the feeder
Oh,
here.
the
Here he is.
Oh,
Go on,
oh,
mate. Steamboat. You missed
He
it.
went straight by the feeder again though, didn't he? Look. It's like,
He wants it.
I don't even think he knows it's there.
He's not sure.
Yeah. Do you think that's bait still in the feeder there?
I do, yeah. Or it's about the feeder. You
definitely
can't
bait.
really.
No, you can see.
Yeah, there's a
Come at
bit-
this angle. I think
Oh, you can see the
screen a
feeder
bit
sitting
more.
like
Yeah.
this. Your hook bait's
Yeah.
not. That's your hook bait there.
Yeah, it could be, yeah. See it
Where
gone
its head's
above.
coming
Oh, here
Yeah.
he goes. Oh,
That's
scared
your
him.
hook bait.
Yeah,
That's
it's
definitely
gone
your hook
above.
bait.
I scared him then.
Yeah, that is your
Still
bait.
moved a lot, innit, even for hard pellet.
Yeah. But I think he's had that in his mouth, mate.
So I thought a heavy bait might have. But
Yeah,
it did,
to
but it
be
hasn't.
honest, Steve, I thought the same.
I feel like now I'd have had another bite with a wafter.
I think you'd have caught him on the wafter, to be honest.
I do. He came over your
That's what I
pile
feel,
and
yeah.
sucked quite a lot.
Just didn't.
Oh, there's a mouth.
Oh, look at that. He's on it. He's on it.
He's got your hook bait, surely.
Oh, yeah. No way.
I think he got away with it then.
What the hell?
Looking at how much disturbed. It's not gone round, is it?
Yeah.
Definitely pick your hook bait up.
He was right. His mouth was where your pellet was.
Where's the feeder now? Can you even?
Oh,
Here
hey
he
up,
is,
hey up,
he
here we
is.
go.
He
Don't even know
is,
where the hook bait
he
is,
is
do you?
shoveling, mate.
That's a common.
It's a comment.
Oh, go on, Steve! Silly comment.
You could tell when he picked it up and shook his head.
Oi!
I tell you what's obvious for me on that one.
This is a
There were
disaster.
hardly any bait left, and he came in dead aggressive because he
This
hadn't
is
got
a
any
total
other choice.
disaster.
Pac-Man, weren't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you think he comes in aggressive because he knows there's something not quite right there, or do you think he's just
No,
mopping
I think there's not much bait left, so he's making the most of what's there.
Oh.
How's that going for you, Steve?
Really well.
Yeah, looks good.
Is he round them reeds?
Round them.
I'll get you another beer if you get him out.
It's one of them now. You think should I just try to hang on to it?
What, and just see if he slowly...
No, to see if it just broke me on the stop.
Yeah.
Not even sure it's there anymore. It's gone miles as well.
I wonder if you just fish like 10-pound line and...
Yeah, but obviously you need to be on the rod then.
Yeah.
That mirror that come aggressively into the swim, he had one thing on his mind, and that was feeding. It was just a real shame we had the hard pellet on, because I think if there was a nice, bright, attractive wafter there, pulled out the bait quicker, he would have picked it up, and I'm pretty sure we would have hooked that fish.
When I changed to the hard pellet, the first fish came in, seemed to pick up the hook bait, it bolted out the swim, looked like a decent sized mirror, and my thinking is that it probably didn't pick up the hook bait correctly. Because the hook bait wasn't standout as such, it's took the hook bait but not took it as directly, and I think if it doesn't take it directly, you've got the chance it might hook itself on the side of the mouth, just outside the mouth, etc. So I didn't get a good hook hold, and obviously, well, I didn't even get any hook hold. The fish felt the hook or felt the bait, felt something was wrong and bolted out. which is interesting because I do catch a lot of carp on hard pellets, but I've never felt like how I fish them, I've got a massive edge as in the way I hook fish with them. So maybe something to think about in the future.
Well, boys, that one sorted you right out, didn't it?
I think it's just climbed out on the other bank and gone to the next lake.
Looked like Jurassic Park with all reeds moving.
It did. What a day. 2-2. Happy with that? First day, first ever time doing underwater?
Happy with how my rig worked. I'd like to have landed the other two.
Yeah, of course. But I think it's been a really interesting day.
Yeah.
We've got lots to dream about for tomorrow. We'll come back fresh and see if we can make a bit better of a job of it.
I've loved it, honestly.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so
wicked,
cool.
isn't it? So much more to do, isn't there?
Yeah.
Really good.
I think
Let's
we're going
go.
to learn loads in this one.
Come on, let's call it a day.
A beer and some food.
Oh, here we go, here we go.
There's a hoover straight on.
Yesterday I went with yellow, so I switched it to orange. It's a right old warrior Marvin, isn't he?
I really like the idea of this at first, but look how small it is.
Oh, you got him, you got him.
Like the last two bites have been totally different to the normal bite. Can you see the go?
Yeah.
Oh!
You know what I'll do with them hook then?
Spin them.
Yeah. He's right on your bait.
oh,
no
oh,
way. No.
It's in his mouth.